So today I want to be talking to you about standardized testing. First, let's start with the history. Standardized testing started around the time of World War II. And it was during this time that the Army started using what they call Army mental tests to evaluate what their specific field of expertise should be. It was then from there that they blossomed into our education field. About the end of World War II that they really started getting into school systems. And it was in 1926 that the first SAT started being used. However, it was super expensive to do this because they had to be graded by hand. But whenever the first computer grading device for the SAT was invented in 1935, it reduced these tests from being $5 a test to 50 cents a test. Today, I want to just educate you on what exactly the pros and cons are so that you can ultimately make a decision for yourself in figuring out where you stand. A few of the benefits of this testing are schools' education. So one thing that this is really great to test is your school teaching your student properly compared to other schools? This is a great way to see where exactly your handful of seniors are compared to other schools. And should your testing be higher, and what can you do to help improve that? Another thing that is extremely important that it helps with is guidance. This standardized testing creates guidelines for which your students have to know in order to excel in college. So this is a really important outline of what exactly you should be teaching your students. Another benefit of this is tracking your progress. This is one reliable way to figure out if your school is progressing educationally. Schools should always be trying to get better and achieve greater things. So comparing last year's test results to this year's handful of students is a great way to figure out if your school is achieving higher standards and pursuing better education. Another reason standardized testing is beneficial for our students is that it's unobjective. So standardized testing is an unobjective way of testing the knowledge of a student. I know that some schools may grade easier and other schools may be more rigorous, such as a magnet school compared to a public school. There might be different standards of teaching. So this standardized testing is a great way to fully see the knowledge of a student and give them an equal chance. So we've seen 4 really great things about the standardized testing. Now let's see what exactly the consequences are, because there are also a lot of consequences that come with this. One of the reasons people think that the standardized testing is not a great thing is that it's unfair. Standardized testing is not overly helpful to non-English speakers. So because the test is completely in English, this sets back students who have English as their second language. Another reason that standardized testing is not good for our students is that it's only testing straight knowledge. Education is about many other things, such as creativity and perseverance and critical thinking. But these tests are only asking you, do you know the facts? Do you know how to solve this? Can you conclude a specific answer? And that's not really all that education is all about. Yes, that is a good majority, but there are many other things that go into education. Another consequence of standardized testing is time. Many schools, while I was researching, stated that preparing for these tests consumes most of their year. And if we're spending our whole entire year on preparing for these tests, then we're neglecting other areas that also need to be taught. Money is also a major consequence of this. These tests are extremely expensive. The education budget is already stressed enough. Adding on to these expensive tests that are taking place several times a year. You've seen a few of the pros and you've seen a few of the cons, so now it's time for you to decide where you stand on this. One last thing that I found while I was researching this that I thought was extremely interesting is an article by CNN, which is talking about how colleges are thinking about dropping SAT score requirements for the upcoming year as a result of COVID-19. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned something today, and I hope you now are grasping a better understanding of where exactly you stand on standardized testing.